iSupport 17.7 Release Notes. Purchasing. You can now create tax and fee records for vendor line items on product records via the Desktop Create menu. You can set the charge type as a rate percentage, a per line item charge, or a per order charge, which is the same fee charged regardless of the quantity specified for a line item. Select one or more for a vendor line item in the product screen. Note that number, default quantity, and minimum quantity fields have been added to vendor line items as well. The number field is a free text field, and the default quantity and minimum quantity fields will auto-populate and validate the ordered quantity for a line item when it is added to a purchase request. The taxes and fees items will appear when the product is selected in the Rep and MySupport Purchase Request and Service Catalog screens. Note that the drag and drop function for adding line items to purchase requests has been replaced by an add link and entry dialog. Use the Quick Search and Select function to conduct a search for a product name, asset type, vendor name, or product number. A purchase, taxes, and fees data source and fields have been added to the View and Report designers, and line item taxes and fees and a product number field are now included in the Purchases data source. In the Purchasing Feature Basics screen, you can now require completion of the comments field on a purchase request on initial save. This setting applies to requests submitted via the desktop and MySupport portals. Work items. Customer Others to Notify and Rep Others to Notify options have been added to the Change action on Customer, Change, Problem, and Incident rules. This will add those on the applicable Others to Notify list to the work item. A Terms option has been added to Opportunity Rule Conditions. The initial save rule events in rule conditions have been renamed to Initially Saved by Customer and Initially Saved by Rep. To more easily identify changes that are part of a related change hierarchy as well as a service hierarchy, you can now use the View Hierarchies menu. A notation to changes listed in the service hierarchy display now indicates if a change was created from a hierarchy template associated service request. You can now generate a QR code via the Asset and Configuration item screens. This is similar to the barcode option, but with the QR code, the URL to open the record is included in the information embedded into the QR code. You can scan the QR code for an asset and then click the link to open the record for the scanned item. You can also scan a QR code to add an asset or configuration item to an incident, problem, or change via the mobile interface. Problem and change options have been added to the new menu in the Asset screen. Integrations. A content type field has been added to the Webhook configuration screen for enabling the output to be set to JSON Mime type. Select the JSON button to display the text of what the webhook will generate. If you are using iSupport's forms-based authentication, you can now enable CAPTCHA and multi-factor authentication for enhanced security after support representatives and customers log in. For support representatives, use the fields on the Login Security tab in the Administer Rep Security configuration screen to enable CAPTCHA and multi-factor authentication for login-related dialogues. Multi-factor authentication and SMS will enable a code to be sent via text message to a support representative after login in order to access iSupport. SMS carriers are defined in configuration. You can use a Twilio integration for sending authentication codes to support reps via SMS and enable a send code via email link on the Validate Authentication Code dialog when the code is sent. This allows the code to be sent to an email address if the support rep doesn't have access to the phone that the code was sent to. An SMS carrier field has been added to the support representative profile screen, and a mobile carrier field has been added to view columns to support this functionality. Use the fields on the Login tab in the MySupport Options configuration screen to enable CAPTCHA and multi-factor authentication for customers accessing MySupport portals. The SMS carrier field has been added to the customer profile layout screen, and a mobile carrier field has been added to view columns and customer sync definition default values to support this functionality. You can now create Outlook calendar events from iSupport work items using Microsoft 365 integration and display the calendars of other support representatives whose calendars have been shared. You can optionally create a Microsoft Teams meeting at the same time. Use the Microsoft 365 integration configuration screen to configure this functionality. Enable the new Microsoft GCC High Environment setting in the Microsoft Integration, Email Server Account, and Default Outbound Account screens if your Microsoft account was created under the .us domain in a government community cloud high environment. Desktop. Search number only and configuration options have been added to the Global Search desktop component. The search number only checkbox enables reps to have a search override their configured global search settings and limit the search of each selected work item type to only include the work item number field. Note that the search uses the contains operator. Use the configuration icon to select the fields to be searched. Reps can now use an edit icon in the Pinboard component to edit comments they've pinned. The short description field for incident records and reason field for change records are now included in the Pinboard component on the desktop. A discussion feed subscriptions field has been added to customer profile screen layouts. It enables you to subscribe a customer to a discussion feed and remove a subscriber from a feed, for example, if messages to a subscriber are returned. You can now copy news feeds via the Content Manager. You can now use the Reports filter to display report views in the Content Manager. 2 new permissions have been added for support representative desktop content: edit other personal newsfeed and delete other personal newsfeed. New grouping options were added to time frame type settings on work item charts: daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly by grouping. When these options are selected, the X-axis labels will be the grouping values and the entire time period of the series will be grouped by the grouping value. An alert icon now appears above the desktop configuration icon when the iSupport agent service stops. Agent status is checked when the desktop loads. It is updated when the agent starts or stops. That's it for an overview of iSupport's version 17.7 release. If you have questions, be sure to consult the online help. Our support team is available for an in-depth walkthrough. Contact them by email at support@isupport.com and by phone at 360-397-1099, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. PST, Monday through Friday. You can also go to mysupport.isupport.com, iSupport Software's technical support website, to chat with support representatives, submit and view incidents, search the knowledge base, view facts, submit ideas, and participate in the user discussion forum.